Hello everybody, welcome to this all-new ShuffleIT Championship match of Sillypotter versus Agoo, and I'm joined today by Cave-O-Sapien and possibly Jnails, and by possibly, I think he's just here, so. Oh.
Hey everyone.
Sillypotter seems to have vacated the match. Agoo is the victor. Oh, they just left. Okay.
Double loss.
I'm really not sure
Somebody get a mod. Okay. They like this table better. This table doesn't have that weird stain in the corner.
It was endearing.
It was probably related to the bug where there's like some kind of already starting bug or something with a bot. If a bot joins and leaves, I forget. That's probably what happened though. Let's see. We're gonna get this going. So Sillypotter was in the ShuffleIT final, wasn't he, at one point? I don't remember.
In 2021, lost to VR Smith.
Okay. Okay, and then Agoo is just a completely new player. I've seen him spectate. Dingan offered some advice for Agoo, but otherwise I've never heard of Agoo.
They played in last year, lost to a low-ranked, low-seeded Dr. Steelhammer in the round of 128 last year.
Well, that's like a trick, really.
Yeah.
So we have Sillypotter starting the first game here. And it looks like we're already... The new ruling is not official yet, right? So we can do cities... Oh, wait, no. Never mind. I thought city-state was island folk for a second. I'm already tired. That's not good.
Yeah, we can do city-state and outpost still. That has not changed. I have heard no rumor that will change.
It just doesn't work. Oh wait, it does work. City-state isn't the replay. Oh my gosh. Okay. All right. So
neither gets the 4-3 here, which
yeah, you would open Silk
gives you
Merchant.
A few more options.
Yeah. Would it be Silk Merchant Potion? The curses seem really annoying here.
My intuition says Moneylender.
Moneylender.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
On the 4-3?
On the counterfactual 4-3, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So Potion for Sillypotter.
Potion on the 3-4.
I don't endorse that.
I don't like this guide open. It seems really, really whatever to me. I would prefer silver, actually.
The guide also seems weird. I thought Silk Merchant Silver seemed the best. Moneylender Silver or Broker Silver also seemed like.
Yeah, I kind of like the Broker open. I mean, I think that City State seems pretty good to me.
For sure, Broker seems good. As far as which one you take first, Moneylender versus Broker, I think Moneylender is a little bit more likely to hit 5 in the short term. That's why I would pick that one.
I'm just really.
What do you care about 5 though? Like, what's pushing you for 5?
I was thinking of buying a Tormentor or a Stampede if you hit 5 turn 3 is also a good option.
I'm just surprised by the familiar skip from Jnails. Like, I would just open Potion Silk Merchant.
On the counterfactual 4-3 that nobody had.
Yeah. And
get a potion at some point. Somebody's just so slow.
And Agoo drew this guide dead, so it's like insult to injury. And we bought a second guide too. That's crazy.
I do not understand the guides. Help me out here.
I mean, they're not supposed to be tired, right? Like, this is like morning for them, right? Like, or evening or something.
Let's see. Japan time now. It is 1:30 p.m. in Tokyo.
Yeah. Like, they should be okay. I mean, we'll see how it goes. I mean, it'll be interesting to see if the guides work out. It's certainly a decent card, you know. I mean, clearly Agoo doesn't like the silver and just wants to click on guide and assumes guide is better than nothing, which is reasonable if you have 3, I suppose. But
I would love to click on Stampede here as Sillypotter, but then it's hard to say what your turn is accomplishing. You don't have plus buy in your deck. You don't have a Trasher.
Outpost. Wow.
the outpost feels really early to me as well, but I guess if you're guiding, yeah,
Maybe
okay.
that's why they got the guide, is because they plan on this
Yeah.
early outpost.
Okay. I can't say I love it, but you know, it could work out. It definitely could work out. The main
interview.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was saying in their interview, Agoo said that they were mentored by Kazumaru. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right.
Kazumaru?
Or not. Kazu, and who was in turn mentored by Sillypotter.
This is like Sillypotter's grandchild.
Yeah, I think this is something that we get with the Japanese players. This idea of mentorship, which we don't really. I don't think we get that. Jnails.
I don't like.
Do you guys have mentors? Do you have
for
somebody
me,
you think of as your mentor?
I don't think anyone mentored me in an official capacity, but when I was learning Dominion, I was mostly watching Dan Brooks's videos.
Yeah.
I was mentored pretty indirectly by Mick Seanock. I religiously watched his videos. So, I mean, mentoring definitely happened. It's just, you know, it's kind of non-consensual mentoring. It's kind of the best way to put it, I guess.
And of course, when Very starting out, there was the Burning Skull series.
Yeah.
Watching that.
All right, so we had a guide, an outpost into guide, which again was nothing. I mean, it's a decent idea, but it just didn't save the outpost turn.
Yeah.
This is looking ugly.
Yeah, that's familiar for you.
Lots of 2P hands.
My mentors were the Goku bots. I'm gonna remember that next time you don't win the A division. Let's see. What are you doing here for Sillypotter on this buy here? They do have a guide down.
Consider that we're apparently just not allowed to touch Silk Merchant for some reason.
Yeah, that's very, very strange. I kind of like crew here, and then just kind of go for like getting a couple walled villages and Silk Merchants maybe.
If you can't buy Silk Merchant turn 1, you just can't buy it. That's the rule.
I mean, that's probably more true than 0%, but it's pretty close to 0%, right? But
it's hard to identify a point in the game where you wouldn't want to click Silk Merchant. Like in the opening, it accelerates your deck. In the mid game, it adds villagers so you can't dud. At the end game, well, it's just a lab that comes with a coffer and costs 4.
yeah. So the really funny thing about these outposts is they're about exactly what I expected. You're playing outposts, doing nothing on your turn, and then you kind of just have a normal turn with your outpost turn, except you wasted a guide toss. It just seems really swingy with all the curses.
The early guide and outpost is paying off enough. Like, you definitely want to do that, I think. 2 guides and an outpost seems like a goal to arrive at. But, like, I would think you want to thin a bit, get some favors, and then at some point you can city-state that outpost.
Yeah.
At a later date.
And Sillypotter opened familiar, right? I think we're seeing the dividends of that. Yeah.
I think they opened Potion.
They did open Potion, yeah. They opened familiar, trying for that. Yeah.
Is that our first Stampede?
Yes, I believe so. It's a good Stampede, too. Sillypotter is going to pretty much just
This
put the nail in the coffin here. All of the familiars are going to be launched straight into Aku.
Sorry, put the what in the where?
Sorry, all the familiar curses are going to be launched like into Agu, essentially. It's going to be pretty ugly.
they're gonna put the final screw in the coffin, Jnails.
All right.
Yeah.
I appreciate
Okay.
the version of the analogy more.
Oh, was that like offensive or something? I mean, I would have thought you appreciated the shout out, but yeah, so we're seeing a walled village here. I would like to see maybe even just another silk merchant here.
Thoughts on saving that villager?
How would you save it? Oh, you mean like not playing the Tormentor?
Yeah, I'm not playing the Tormentor.
This seems fine to me. It's not like your turn's getting that much better.
I don't recall well enough. I mean, if you spent it,
I
probably
guess
buy
you got
it.
it in on the outpost turn.
Yeah, Agu is looking completely lost here.
Yeah, this looks pretty bleak.
We're gonna see a gold buy here.
Don't do it.
This entire match, there's gonna be a gold watch.
Oh, wow.
It's basically more like a.
Wow.
Oh my god, he actually bought the gold.
Delicate.
I mean, it's not bad. It's
Yeah,
fine.
with Museum, we'll give you a pass on the first one.
Okay, fine.
Yeah.
Basically scoring.
If Jnails did that, it'd be like a taunting penalty or something.
Yeah.
I mean, I would much have preferred the crew to the gold, I think, but
Yeah.
crew really seems fine here. Like, you can play crew and then toss with guide and have crew in your starting hand. That's pretty nice.
I'm thinking potion for cards.
Yeah.
Let's
Oh.
take the actions.
Yeah. Okay, there's the crew. Some good stuff. I would just yeah. That's actually pretty friendly.
That was smart of Agu to let their deck build up a critical mass of curses to maximize the chance that Logos would kill one.
That's just like a
It's a veteran move.
what's the poisonous chemicals ESGs? I don't remember.
MSG?
MSG. No.
MSG is actually totally safe.
I'm thinking about like the carbon emissions. It was like a carbon eating.
Oh, GHG, greenhouse gases.
Yeah, it was like a.
HFCs, that's the ozone hole.
I was just thinking of like a
HFCs,
carbon eating locust. It just helps the environment. I don't know. Sillypotter continues to be ahead.
There's PCP, that's a chemical.
Buys a second,
PhD.
maybe third gold. Did someone else buy another gold?
Agu got a gold a second ago.
Yeah. Okay.
This is game one, yes.
Would you have resigned this here?
No. No, because Sillypotter bought gold. No, I would have resigned here probably. I mean, if I was playing ladder, I would have resigned, but playing tournament, I would make Sillypotter earn the win. I certainly wouldn't be playing this fast.
The last match, Dingen versus Xiaomi, just happened like a few hours ago, and they got in 5 games in an hour.
Wow.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
I think they should both
almost
just
unheard of for
they
them.
should both just win. Like speed like that needs to be encouraged.
Somebody ask Mod if we can do that.
It would be pretty cool if
It actually makes it really hard to commentate because you're talking about the kingdom and then they're on like turn 8 already. They also started early. Like they started 5 minutes in advance.
oh that's the worst.
Yeah.
Yeah. It would be cool though. There was talk about the client adding like a timer feature. It'd be cool to have like a Dominion Blitz tournament. That'd be cool. I'd be down for that.
What do we think of that money there? I'm surprised nobody's got favors. I guess at this stage of the game they don't do a whole lot.
Yeah, like I would have expected something like trash one estate for favors so that I could play an outpost the moment I buy it.
Yeah.
And then other favors would probably be much more situational.
Yeah, because I'm looking at the board now and thinking, what in the world do you want to actually play when you buy it, other than
Well, you
stuff related?
could play a broker to do another trash. Like, there's stuff you can do. But it's probably mostly broker or outpost. Maybe a crew, just to set up crew for next turn. Those would be my 3 candidates. Maybe a clerk, but probably not a clerk. Alright,
Yeah,
we're
it's
just...
pretty weak here.
I wouldn't say
time.
I wouldn't say weak, just kind of outclassed.
Well, it's potentially actively friendly if your opponent has enough
Yeah.
guides, which they sure do, because they can top deck their best card and then pitch the 4 worst ones.
That's true.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I mean, niche to say if that's friendly or not, but
Very slightly friendly.
yeah.
I mean, I think I would resign now. Like, you're not saving this game. You're not gonna like find a way.
Well, if you didn't resign before, why resign now? I mean, now you may as well just let them finish. It would be rude to resign now. Surely, let's consult the etiquette channel.
Sillypotter's
Please
kind
don't
of
go to the etiquette channel.
Sillypotter's actually reasonably thin now, which is kind of funny. The decks were not thin at the start, but
Pity province there? No. Wow.
well,
Alrighty, game 1 to Sillypotter.
yeah, and it really kind of started just right off the bat. A very, very strange decision from Agoo. It was creative, going for the guides and the outpost, but it didn't do anything.
Okay, this one looks like it gets going pretty fast.
This looks like it has this looks like it has everything you want, right?
Yeah. You could even, if you have like the right kind of draw, you could weigh the Turtle Chapel for a better trash the next turn, which is kind of cool.
I find that Order of Masons can be very awkward in situations where you're trying to trash your estates, because if you pitch the estates in the first shuffle, you find your chapel with higher likelihood, but it's probably trashing all your coppers.
Are we playing with pool here? I see Tracer saying pool skipping time.
No.
I feel like
You play with
I feel
pool
like
here.
I would auto click. I would auto focus on pool here. But
Why would you not want pool? You can do all kinds of stuff here. Like, you can do Kiln, play a card, and then Emissary draw, and you get the coffers. Sorry, the whatevers. There's a lot of stuff you can do here.
My guess is pool gets skipped. I mean, it's a card I would very much want to have in my deck, but then the question is, when do you add it? Because you're going to, first and foremost, play Chapel a bunch of times to get thin, and then your deck's going to be a bunch of festivals and probably mostly action payload. And then it's just going to be quicker and cheaper to add Menagerie and Emissary to that deck, I think.
what are you opening with your chapel here?
I don't know.
It's probably Wishing Well, right?
I'm thinking maybe, I don't know. The Order of Masons makes this opening.
Yeah.
Maybe, what if you open Chapel Silver and then intentionally discard your silver?
Then why not just open Baron?
That feels. Yeah, I mean,
Because
I
I
kind of
found
like the
that's
Baron
my
open.
estates. I could see taking a Baron maybe and planning to just trash 2 estates, because the Menagerie only needs you to kill 2 of them. So Chapel Baron might work too.
It's interesting, yeah.
It's just such a nice econ boost, and it should all work out with Chapel, right? Clearly, your terminals won't collide. That doesn't happen.
Sillypotter says Bard. That was not on my radar.
Bard.
Yeah, Bard is a strange one. It could work out. I mean, Bard can get you the silver, and then you're just really happy. Bard can also get you the gold, and you're probably happy on the right kind of draw. Earth's Gift is alright. There's some decent boons.
Bard is esoteric. That's the word I'm going to use here. That's it.
I don't hate it. Like, especially if you get Earth's Gift, it's really nice. Then you can just get the Baron after the fact. Like, there's a lot of stuff you can do with the Bard.
I mean, if you got to pick your boon, for sure. But, like...
And what if you Moon's Gift Chapel on top on, like, turn 4? There's, like, some interesting stuff here. Oh, opens Potion. That's very strange.
Okay.
Wow.
I mean...
Agoo's defense, that's how they lost last game. Their opponent opened Potion. So maybe they're a quick learner.
Wow.
And now, yeah, this is already really bad.
I do not like the Potion open at all.
I mean, I like Pool, but I wouldn't have opened Potion here. And I guess then I just... I don't know.
I still think you don't get Scrying Pool ever, most likely.
Probably, yeah. I mean, I wouldn't open Potion, and then after that, yeah, I guess I'm finding it a little difficult to justify Potion ever, but... yeah, alright.
What is Kazu asking? Something about Masons?
War Chest looks really good here, though. Looks like a really good card.
Kazumaru, I think, is questioning the choice not to use Order of Masons. Which is true. Sillypotter did not use Order of Mason at all.
Yeah, what are you saving it for?
I don't know. It is a difficult choice, though. Like I mentioned, you open a card that you want to trash estates with. If you pitch the estates, you trash a bad set of cards. If you don't pitch the estates, you risk bottom decking it. If you pitch the coppers, then probably your not Chapel turn has very little money in it. I think the Order of Mason's decision is a difficult one.
Yeah, that whole class of decisions where you have to like root for getting bad cards in the hand somehow, you know, so that you can trash them. Feels terrible. It feels like you're messing with karma or something.
We'll see what this Bard is. Maybe it's Wind's Gift. That would be pretty good. That would just about get Sillypotter cleaned up.
That works too.
That's actually incredible. Yeah, so the Bard's already paid for itself, in my opinion. You, of course, would love to have buy, but
wow,
you can always buy a festival.
I think just trash 2 here, and then buy Menagerie or Wishing Well.
Yeah. Almost automatic decision from Sillypotter.
This is a nice hand, though, for Agoo.
Yeah. So I'm wondering... Sorry.
No, I was saying, looking over the interviews, Sillypotter said that they used to practice the Night Watchman Counting House combo all night long. You guys ever practiced a combo all night long?
All night long? No, I can't say that.
No. Usually I kind of get it after playing it twice. But, you know, then I forget it. So there probably is some wisdom to playing it for a really long time.
There may have been something lost in the translation there. But.
I can go check. I remember we looked at the original translation.
We just sack Potion here, right? Like, that just seems like... Potion just isn't... This is such a, like, being forced to watch
penny, right?
It's like watching a terrible movie and you don't want to leave because you paid for it. The sunk cost fallacy.
Agoo looks in decent shape here, right?
Kind of. But Sillypotter just looks in a much better position to me. They have the War Chest. And the gold.
What are you gaining off of the War Chest? I'm going to assume my opponent names Festival.
Yeah, well, you can gain a Wishing Well, you can gain a Menagerie, you can gain an Emissary. Emissary's not terrible if you buy Festival here. Kiln at some point's pretty good. I really don't hate the War Chest. There's just a lot of nice targets. Baron. Baron's an option too. Shout out to Tracer for that suggestion.
We killed all of our estates.
Well, you can always gain another one. Baron gets you estates.
I don't get. I guess the kiln sort of makes sense. I think I preferred the Festival Emissary line there.
War Chest is the most banned card in Prosperity. I mean, I'm not surprised by that. Well,
Most banned across what player set?
what else is in Prosperity? I don't even remember. I mean, it's just an annoying card.
How many people have actually updated their banned lists since Prosperity 2nd Edition came out? That's the question.
I'm assuming that means just out of the new cards.
Okay, so Agoo kills the potion now. We could see a kiln, yeah. I was thinking about this. So they're going to kiln the scrying pool to get max value, but actually I think kilning Festival will ultimately be better, but I don't think they can do it yet, as they only have one action. One village.
Kill this War Chest instead here.
How? Oh, I know what you mean. It seems reasonable, but I don't think the second War Chest does nearly as much.
I really don't want a second War Chest. You have the potential for some very sad menagerie draws.
Yeah, that too. If there was like a second village, maybe I would be a little more interested in the second War Chest. But yeah, the menagerie draws is a problem. And Agoo's at the point where the War Chest... Yeah, the kiln is a little weird. Like, this should have just been a War Chest. Then you could get the kiln here. It's just out of order. Agoo's not... Oh, gaining is silver.
That's just... Yeah.
I don't hate it. The scrying pool does help draw. It's kind of why you got the pools, but... Yeah, it's not great. It could work out though. I mean, you're trying to build big. You're a little behind. You need the economy. I can see the reasoning behind it, but it's definitely like it's like you fall behind, and now it's like, all right, well, now I got to make this 5-point shot, and no one's ever heard of a 5-point shot before, but you're gonna try and make it. You know, like,
Sillypotter really getting the most out of their menageries. I mean, just there's very little way for them not to hit. It's really quite nice.
Yeah, world class
Is
from
it possible
Sillypotter.
for them not to hit? Like what set of cards could you put in a 5-card hand that has a menagerie and it doesn't activate?
3 menagerie.
Yeah.
And then you play then you play 1 menagerie and then it activates, but there's your case.
Yeah,
I like
it's
taking
really,
the
really
festivals.
nice.
This game's just over.
Most of the good payload here, terminal.
Sillypotter is just completely won here. Like, without festivals, it's really hard to do anything here.
Yeah, Agoo's deck really wanted to kill that festival, and Sillypotter said no.
Yep. And these pools are not working out either. And that's a desperation province if I've ever seen one. Sillypotter can more than make up for that.
This double silver is already hurting.
I think you just kill the emissary, yep. Yeah, so do we see Agoo play this one out or just resign here? Because this seems even more clear than the last game. Because it's engine-y, it's not even like a money deck. You can't even trick yourself into thinking that maybe you have a shot.
Oh, this is a bit... Sillypotter's deck would really like a few favors, because once you have 2 provinces in it, Order of Masons discarding provinces will be really important.
Yeah, that's a nice show.
Not working out.
I mean, the decks are really close to a pile out already. Sillypotter could just
don't name Kiln. Now it's a free duchy right there.
Yeah. So like Sillypotter could just take double province, fair, baron, just anything really, and just kind of pile out next turn.
Province and a duchy, probably.
Yeah. It's not even like you certainly don't have to double, but you don't want to lose off of a freak draw or something.
I'm going to be really annoyed if Sillypotter buys any cards other than Kiln that cost 5. Because it's going to make that Menagerie game look a little bit silly.
Right. Baron.
Baron's fine. It's buy. It's points.
It's also sneaky 2 estates, right?
Yeah, that's the other idea. Agoo. How does Agoo win here? I mean, Agoo would have to empty the estates and hope for a Sillypotter dud, which is just very unlikely. Let's see, so we got not enough here. Not even close. Yeah, losing the festivals was just brutal.
Can they even empty estates over 2 turns? I think so. You'd have to gain a Baron here and then Kiln it next turn. And then it would be possible to pile out estates.
I love the optimism.
I actually like the Festival top deck from Agoo.
Yeah.
It wasn't, you know, it's not your favorite card to see on top, but it is certainly better to leave on top than another card like Menagerie.
I'm thinking estate, Baron, fair, and then if my opponent doesn't dud, I just resign immediately.
And I don't get the Kiln at all. The Kiln is so weird.
Yeah, gaining a Kiln there makes 0 sense to me.
So we're already almost at a pile out here. In fact, it's just here in hand already. And Sillypotter, oh, I need to update the score. Whoops. So Sillypotter, unless they miss this win, which I don't think they will, is going to come out to a very quick 2-0 lead. And there's the Kanye resign. So Sillypotter's going to start first, game 3. Really rough start for Agoo, but, I mean, his decisions are doing him no favors here. So we'll see what Agoo cooks up here for this one. Sillypotter with the 5-2. I'm not sure that 5-2 is better than just a 4-3. I really like Forager Salvager is okay. Even with the one cost shelters, I kind of like the Salvager. Young Witch is okay.
Salvager seems iffy to me.
I'm kind of just thinking out loud. Like, Salvager's not bad, and I kind of look for better options. Like, Young Witch could be better, for example. So, like, Forager Young Witch could be an option.
What about Estate Salvager on the 2-5?
I think I'd just prefer...
To me. I think I'd just draw.
I would just take a Haunted Woods on my 5 if I had that kind of draw.
Or even Tragic Hero.
I think I'd just take the Haunted Woods. I mean, Tragic Hero is okay. I don't know.
Haunted Woods kills Villa.
Yeah, that's true.
And you gain this, put it into your hand. So you can still play the Villa, but you can't play anything else.
Yeah. So you get your investment back when you buy a villa. You get your one coin back and your buyback. But I still like Haunted Woods here. It seems fine.
Yeah, I'm down with Haunted Woods.
Tragic Hero, I don't hate it either. But what do we do here? Just Forager? It's not great. It doesn't feel great, but it feels like Forager's the way to go. To me.
Two Tragic Heroes.
And I mean,
well, we hit 5 again, so we have to keep buying Tragic Hero. I think that's how this works.
All right, so now we're gonna see Forager, and Agoo is just. So they bought a Fool's Gold. They bought a Forager. What did they get with the Forager? They got Conspirator. I don't know that I like Conspirator on open. That seems wrong to me. What do you think, Jnails and Cave?
I don't hate it.
It's fine.
It's fine? Okay.
Best way to get to 5, I think.
I guess it is a silver. Yeah.
Well, we can't activate Conspirator here, but looks like we get lucky.
So I would expect a Haunted Woods here, but another Tragic Hero. All right, that's fine.
Yeah, the Tragic Hero Haunted Woods debate here is kind of interesting to me because, I mean, I think if not for Haunted Woods, the Haunted Woods feels more like an offensive or a, it is an attack, but it feels like that's not the card that you want to play with if you're just building in a vacuum. But because it shuts down Villa so harshly, I feel like you have to. And yet, Tragic Heroes are at 5.
Yeah, I'm not sure which of those is better. Because Villa makes both of them look stronger. Haunted Woods because it stops Villa, and Tragic Hero because it benefits from Villa. You can get your Haunted Woods up, it shuts down the Tragic Heroes pretty hard.
But how in the world are you getting Haunted Woods played so, consistently?
Yeah.
I don't like this double Haunted Woods that much. I don't know. Because what if you draw both of them? Then you don't want to play both of them. And then it's just, like, weird. Then you got, like, a 2-0 thing going. I know duration balance is, like, a bit of a joke, but you kind of want it with Haunted Woods.
Yeah, but sometimes it's a card that's awkward to get the second one on the turn that you play the first one because it doesn't actually draw that turn.
Yeah. It's true.
Seven. Second Forager and the Conspirator, or
I was thinking to start looking at the Fool's Golds now. Just get like one maybe, and then get another Tragic Hero with it.
I was thinking Conspirator was the payload here.
Interesting.
Sillypotter has my back.
Well, Sillypotter's a much stronger player than me, so. So we get a rather. Wow! Whoa! Yeah.
Agoo, no, you have to play all your coppers.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a big error.
Classic mid-afternoon mistake.
Do we have like a tilt watch for Agoo? It kind of feels like, I don't know. That was very sloppy.
People can make mistakes and not be tilted. We do need like some kind of like tiltometer though.
Yeah, but hasn't Agoo been playing like Great Dominion up until this point? Like during the tournament? I mean, he got this far.
I don't think I've fought any of their matches this year, so I don't know.
Yeah. Didn't Mick watch and say he played pretty alright? I don't remember. Mick watched somebody. I think Agoo was the game he watched, but I could be wrong.
I've definitely played Agoo in the lotto. Let's take a look.
Beat Sam 3.5 to 1.5.
I have played
in a match that
Agoo
was way too late for me to watch.
30 times in total. I am up 16 to 14.
That's actually really respectable.
Yeah. I also see Agoo spectating my games a lot. I think they spectate a lot of games in general. So even if they're not playing on the ladder, they're also watching a lot of ladder games.
Yeah.
They're a COVID Dominion player.
They're definitely on the more
in the
recent
pandemic.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Guess how many total games I've played against Sillypotter?
2.
Higher.
203.
Lower.
8.
You're way farther away, I'll say that.
Okay.
I've played 156 games against Sillypotter. Unfortunately,
Yeah,
I'm failing 70 to 85 with one draw.
So we're seeing a Fool's Gold Tragic Hero buy here from Agoo. Okay, an undo. I'm starting to wonder if someone's going to start thinking about, oh, weird.
Yeah, we had the Villa Haunted Woods thing.
Well, they did that deliberately to top deck the
I guess
Villa.
that's okay. The poor man's prince right there.
It's an interesting play.
Oh. No Haunted Woods.
Yeah. That's pretty brutal. You just sack Necro here?
Yeah.
It doesn't seem that good to me anymore.
Neither does a copper, to be honest. I mean, do you really want 12?
Why are we
Does 12
top
do
decking?
anything?
Do we know something about these bottom 4 cards? There's a Haunted Woods down there. Maybe there's another Tragic Hero.
There must be another Tragic Hero down there. I was too busy.
Let's give them the benefit of the doubt. It's a brilliant play.
Alright, so there's the Legionary, yeah. I was thinking about Legionary. I was wondering when someone would click on it, because the golds are starting to come out now.
Yeah, Legionary seems good here. I mean, it undoes the Haunted Woods attack, but that's not the biggest deal. It's essentially draw negative for your opponent, which is kind of important with the limited draw in this kingdom.
So 16. Good patience from Agoo, not just clicking on province here. I wonder if you just click on nothing but Tragic Heroes here and just take them all.
Conspirators.
Sure, go for it. Go for the heroes. What's the worst that could happen?
Well, double Conspirator Forager does hit 11, and I would like another Forager.
I'm having a hard time reconciling the conspirators with the Fool's Golds here, though, in this deck.
Yeah.
Would resolve that contradiction by trashing the Fool's Golds. I like the Conspirators. Draw is limited.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, no reason sticking with it if it's a, you can easily, thin your deck, still get mileage out of the Fool's Golds, and then turn it into something that works more smoothly.
Prince is fun.
Prince just feels too slow.
Yeah, I don't think I'd get Prince here. The targets aren't good enough. But
Like, maybe if Haunted Woods wasn't here, I could see gaining and playing a Prince, but, like, even with that, there's so much consistency here, I just don't think the Prince works.
Clearly, you're printing a treasure map, right?
you could print a young
the
witch
idea.
for a constant dungeon effect.
I mean, printing a Forger is not that bad. You have a lot of junk, and it helps the Tragic Heroes not blow up. It's really not terrible.
So do you top deck this villa here? I think you do, right? What do we have down there?
Presumably more villas. I wouldn't top deck it.
Are we out of? How many Tragic Heroes are in the trash now? 4. Okay.
So is this game going to end on a pile out or on provinces? Because I would have guessed pile out, but it's not looking that way right now.
I think it still looks more like pile out.
You haven't greened yet. I would like to have all the conspirators, and then Villa looks like a pileable pile.
Yeah, but someone's going to start buying province, and then, yeah, like right now.
Go.
Yeah.
Agoo.
Can I infer from the deck sizes that Sillypotter is the one with 2? Oh, there they are, the 2 foragers. So there, don't have to infer it.
So Agoo got the Salvager, which will help with rushing provinces down. It's a pretty nice rush card in that sense that it can drain the provinces down. That was a horrible series of words I just said there. Really
I
tired.
like the choice to not kill this tragic hero here.
Yeah,
Although,
this is
unfortunately, it's working out awkwardly because they can't play the other tragic hero now.
That's okay. Top decking, it's a decent consolation prize.
Yeah.
I think I just want conspirators.
2 conspirators seems reasonable. Or, I mean, the forager, not the forager. The salvager also is not bad here.
I just think you run out of junk and you're not trying to mill as Sillypotter, right?
There's gonna be golds you can kill. The foragers will be something you can salvage very soon.
Yeah, that's true. We do have excess golds.
You can blow up a Haunted Woods on the last turn. You can blow up a villa. There's a lot of stuff you can kill.
I'm moderately concerned about terminal space, though.
So get a salvager and print it.
Problem solved.
I feel like there's a game I played where someone princed a salvager and they had this like completely like super unrealistic win and it worked. It was something with salvager and it was like auto played or something. I don't remember.
I have
Princing salvager is just like proto enlarge, right?
No.
Yeah, it's like
kinda.
a cathedral that gives you money. But we end up buying
Villas.
villas?
A bunch of villas. I don't.
I'm a little
I
confused
don't
by
get it.
3 villas.
Yeah, I don't understand.
I'm very confused by that.
It seems very unlikely, but it kind of feels like that's how you lose.
I mean, 2 villas and a conspirator, maybe? I'm not sure how badly you need the villas.
What they might be going for is like a next turn pile out here, and maybe they get the salvager now. But they're
You've got to pile and score.
yeah.
Why are you doing? You Don't lower here.
I expect this to be a conspirator. Salvager. Ooh.
Yeah, I told y'all. Yeah, I think Sillypotter's kind of looking for like a pile-out win here. Maybe getting a little too fancy. But, I mean, the Salvager is flexible. It's, of course, now you're...
Heroes.
Yeah, that's fun.
I think that's the right move. And they're still not drawing their deck. The value...
You were able to, I guess.
Yeah.
I kind of want a Young Witch now to toss the provinces so the Haunted Woods isn't so bad.
This is a little scary, I hear, for Sillypotter, seeing this turn from Agoo, because you're able to keep all their heroes. Sillypotter just added basically a bunch of villas. I mean, the Salvager, I guess, but
this is just Young Witch Fool's Gold, isn't it? I want a Young Witch.
I'm not sure what I would take here, but Young Witch Fool's Gold seems reasonable. They want to top deck a villa? Okay.
Yeah, I don't know about that. You gotta have faith your deck can hold together.
I mean, if they find draw, triple seems quite possible. They have to find Tragic Hero.
Yeah, so now we're running into this problem where it's not entirely clear what Sillypotter can do. I mean, do you just go for Broken Double here?
I mean, I don't think Sillypotter's spot is terrible. If Agoo has another turn like the last turn, then they're gonna be in a great spot. But that's not guaranteed. They didn't even draw their deck. And Sillypotter's next turn is gonna be huge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess you just go for broke here. I mean, you kind of have to.
I mean, you lose to triple no matter what, right?
Like, what if you just bought a bunch of... Well, you can't buy all the Fool's Golds, because then pile out. You could do, like, Province and a few Fool's Golds, or some Conspirators, and second Salvager. Province, Salvager, double Fool's Gold. Treasure Maps, even, maybe.
Is that safe, though? How many buys does Agoo have? There could be a Fool's Gold Villa pile out.
Yeah, I don't know how many you can... What about Province Double Treasure Map? Can you draw all that? Probably. Province Double Treasure Map. Or maybe even just 2 Conspirators and 2 Treasure Maps, and plan to hit 40 next turn. Why even buy a province, you know?
Oh, I hate this line so much. It gives... that is so sloppy. That's way too easy.
Yeah, this seems...
Oh, that's awful. This is just...
They don't find the other Tragic Heroes.
It doesn't matter. This is still a win.
Yeah.
That was so ugly. Wow. Agoo's stealing that. That's ridiculous. Wow.
I mean, that was like the one line that loses with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that was a mistake. It was like the very first thing I looked at was like, what if you just buy a bunch of Fool's Golds? But then you notice that it leads to a pile out, and then you look for other payload.
Very uncharacteristic mistake from Sillypotter. And Agoo is roaring right back, and now has a 1 point. So there is life.
I mean, and looking at the turn that Agoo had, I think Sillypotter was in a totally fine position if they added any other type of payload.
Those are the kinds of games where you snatch victory from the jaws of utter defeat, and then you find your way, and then this is how you end up winning games, where you just fall into a hole early. So
I don't think it was so desperate. I think my guess is tunnel visioning is like Agoo's win condition is emptying the provinces, and you just kind of forget about the 3-pile threat.
Right.
Yeah.
That's my hypothesis.
That sounds reasonable. I don't think Sillypotter was desperate. So I do think the tunnel vision definitely.
Yeah, what do we do here? This is where
this is just Chariot Race, Conspirator, Exorcist looks okay.
I guess Pixie Armory.
Yeah, I kind of like the armory.
A really funny thing about this board is that golds are typically really nice to counteract the chariot races, but there's Corsair, which will hit the golds. So it's kind of brutal.
Yeah, but then you attacked your opponent by making them gain a Corsair.
Yeah, I guess. Corsair's not that bad here.
It sounds like you got the main point of the conversation, TZ.
Yeah, it's Dominion After Dark. We can.
This is mid-afternoon Dominion. I don't know what you mean.
It's Afternoon Delight Dominion. It's okay.
So I think the open here is Lookout Armory, and then you just kind of immediately go for...
The sad part of this...
Why is this an awful board? What's wrong with this board?
Well, it's awful because it's chariot race.
No, this board is beautiful. I don't know what you're all talking about. This is great.
The saddest part to me is I see two cards that usually make me just want to take 12 Will-O-Wisps, but then there's Chariot Race, which says no, don't do that.
Yeah, but I don't know. I think that's enriching to me. I mean, it seems interesting. And in some ways, Wisp is like a nice race card, except for losing races, but it helps you arguably win races because you can decide when to play them, right?
Yeah.
I think for me scoring with my Chariot Races on my turn, I think Wisp is probably a net positive. But I think when you factor in my opponent seeing a Will-O-Wisp and scoring like 5 points at once, it ends up being very negative.
Well, you just need to shuffle better then, really.
Yeah. Is there a way to top deck 6 cards to stop that? You could Armory and then buy Stampede every turn to guarantee you've got a 4 cost on top.
Yeah, you could do that.
I like this idea, yeah. This seems tenable.
Taxman, too. You could Taxman a gold on top, so you have a 6 cost on top every single turn.
This looks like, see, I like the Armory opens. This is a board where I would not think to open Armory, and then I would regret it like 3 turns later, so I appreciate the Armory opens.
I want all the Chariot Races and 4 Conspirators, and I think that's the deck.
A bit of an unfortunate forced toss of Armory from Agoo.
It's 2-1 in Sillypotter's favor.
Yeah. And arguably should have been 3-1. Sorry, 3-0. But Sillypotter just...
I never know how to navigate those, you know. Is it a throw or is it... I mean, because like missing stuff like that is part of losing. It's part of losing and winning. It's
at the level they're playing, you can't characterize it as anything other than a throw.
I think it's a partial throw, because like to me the term throw implies that Sillypotter was solidly ahead and then lost. I think it was anyone's game at the point that they made the mistake, and then it led to an easy loss. So it's like 50% of a throw.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
It's like a toss. We'll call it a toss.
It was a needless risk. Mostly. So the decks are getting thinner. We're adding more chariot races.
What are those at now? Is that 4 or 5?
Oh, the split? I don't know. Well, wait till someone draws their deck, so no need to count.
We all know the splits are important, right?
Yeah.
If Steph has taught us anything, it's that the split's important.
What did the Lookout do? Ooh, sad goat.
It's not...
Is trashing the goat the best there? I guess. That's a sad hit.
I guess you can always get a temple.
You do have... Well, or you sometimes opponents' race will reveal, and you can, you know, maybe you get lucky that way. You know that you can play the Lookout.
Okay, so
it's a small consolation after you've lost 5 races.
Sillypotter with 2 chariot races on bottom, I believe.
Wow, that's a lot of these wins.
This is
7-0.
This is kind of the position where I would just think about buying a singular gold. Province feels a little premature. I think I would have preferred a gold there first. It's nice insurance against these races, and it makes your deck a little more consistent if your chariot races are dry.
And Province does exactly what the gold does, but better, which is be expensive junk.
Yeah, but the gold is nice if your chariot races are inconsistent. And then you can get Province and gold.
Yeah, the Province just nets you a lot.
Like, gold is surprisingly really good in chariot race boards, in my experience.
Yeah, I mean, I'm down with the just like put an expensive card in the deck because it's gonna be 1 victory point per turn. But I mean,
you still
Province
want to
does
build.
that too.
Right? You still, yeah.
I mean, I think you're done building. Chariots are empty. The only thing left is to gain a few more conspirators, which your armory is gonna do.
Okay. I can see that as well.
Well, if you're done there and you're just going to use armory, I mean, then, you know, why do you want the gold?
Well, you gotta also remember that Jnails hates gold, so he's biased. He's biased against gold.
Is that a bias, or is that just like the conclusion of my impartial reasoning? Yeah, I
mean, this seems like a good as time as any to get rid of the pixie.
I think you pop it here. What's down there? There's at least another copper down there, right? Maybe 2?
Well, it's not likely you're going to draw all 2 of them, so... yeah, I mean... if this province was a gold, it wouldn't be a province. So
I'm guessing an undo is incoming. I think Sillypotter is going to armory a pixie and buy a conspirator.
You think so?
I think so.
I don't know. I kind of just like the 2 conspirators. So. Jeez.
Man.
It's rough.
Game,
it's rough to be wrong.
game respects game. Like that's like top player commentary right there. Really nice stuff there.
Sillypotter's listening in. I'm here for you, Sillypotter.
The other goat. Yeah, top decking the conspirators. That's the thing with that armory gain, to add your conspirators. You really don't want them up there, right?
And you do want your pixie in your starting hand because it's cheap. And
yeah,
it can be hit by chariot race.
Yeah. So really, this is all pointing towards, you know, the gold.
Is Sillypotter losing?
This is a bad draw. And a bad boon.
Is it?
It's fine, right? I mean, fine meaning you just don't take it.
What are those 2 cards?
Actually, I do want.
One's a chariot race.
You can't discard and trigger that, right?
I'm guessing the other conspirator.
It's one chariot race and one conspirator. Yeah, you can't. Okay.
This is a
50-50.
Oh, why are we playing that?
There was no good outcome there. I don't think there was any good outcome there.
The best outcome was trashing a copper, which was 50-50.
Yeah, but then you still have junk up there that's not drawing. Like, you're still relying on... Yeah.
That was a strange decision. I would have just taken the gold and not triggered, I mean... And then you lose the gold. Ugh. I would have almost killed the chariot race over the gold at that point, honestly. I know that sounds ridiculous, but...
This is that goat trash coming back to bite him. I wonder, maybe just trashing one of the chariot races would have been correct.
I think the calls for resignable are very premature. Like, Sillypotter's behind now, but no way.
this could flip on races so quickly either way, and the player who has 6 of them, seems more likely.
So we're seeing a lot of uncharacteristic mistakes, perhaps some nerves, but we're seeing very strange decisions from both players this match so far.
You take this easy, right?
100%. I don't even think about it.
Checking to see if Conspirator still triggers if the Pixie's not in play, or like.
It's just if you've played.
Oh, I know. You know.
Yeah. Well, I know that after reading the card.
How many Conspirators does Agoo have? 3? Question is, do you hit Province here? If you don't pop it?
But do you want this in your deck? I mean, it's in your deck, so you can play it at the start of your turn, trigger your Conspirators, and get something good out of it, right?
And then... Ugh.
Well,
like, I
yeah,
feel
look
like if a Pixie Boon is just moderately good, you just pop it, go.
Well, so if any of those Chariot Races hits, then the boon isn't moderately good. It's just like 0.
Wasted. Well, yeah.
But yeah, counterfactually, it's now looking really good because not only would you have gotten to Province, you could have gained and played a Temple to trash the Lookout, or an Exorcist to trash the Lookout into a Imp, maybe even better.
I mean, it's the gaining and playing from the armory that looked good to me, too.
Yeah.
You can gain a Conspirator and not have to top deck it for next turn.
Yeah. So, yeah, they should have taken the field.
There are 16 boons in the draw pile right now.
Indeed. I think the number gets messed up once it goes past 0. The hex pile, I think, messes up too.
That's funny. So does it get messed up in a game-breaking way, or is it just a number or UI bug?
It's just the UI bug.
Okay.
I don't know when it resets.
It would be funny to get like 2 forest gifts in a row. Just completely break everything.
Some of the boons you can get twice in a row, some you can't.
Yeah, if you trigger a reshuffle, but I'm talking post.
Forest is when you couldn't get twice in a row.
Because it has to stay out to prove that it's giving money, right? Yeah.
Forest you keep until cleanup. Field as well because they give money. River's Gift because it draws you a card. I think those are the 3.
I still just like gold here.
Yeah, do you gain Pixie and gold?
I would top deck a Pixie. And...
Jnails, you gotta admit, gold looks pretty good here.
I agree. It looks like a reasonable buy.
The decks are only going to get worse here. You really want the consistency.
I think go for it.
Complete brick from Sillypotter. Wow.
Wow. I mean,
you buy a Corsair here? I kind of want a Corsair. I also kind of want Vault.
Corsair seems bad. Wow.
This both seem reasonable to me. You just want to hit Province. Corsair is to hit.
Corsair more. You just watch your opponent buy a gold.
Yeah, that would be the reason to get Corsair. Vault, it's just pretty consistent for hitting Province.
This is a lot of money.
This is a lot of money, yeah, and the buys. Yeah, this is a game-winning turn.
What's down there? What are those 2 cards?
One's a chariot. No, none are a chariot race. A Pixie probably. Maybe 2 of them.
Are we? Is Agoo clean on coppers?
I thought this would have been a good turn to get another Conspirator. Definitely one is a Pixie, at the very least.
Yeah. Can you safely take... Yeah, you could pretty much safely take Pixie Conspirator here.
Yeah, I think so.
You could take a duchy as well, actually. Duchy's fine. I don't hate the gold either. Because at this...
all pixies. Or
Okay.
pixies.
Yeah. Like, at this point, the decks are very, very, like... They're not going to hit races very often. So just hitting Province consistently with a gold, that seems reasonable to me as well.
Man, having that Province on top, pretty nice. Good
Yes.
shuffling there.
Very surprising that Earth's Gift wasn't taken.
Well, what do you do?
I'm very confused. I don't.
But if Sillypotter, what do you even take with it? I mean, just what, you take 2 conspirators and then Agoo just piles?
The main thing I'd want out of the Earth's Gift is the discarding of the copper. If I do
Yeah.
that, I'm not being a conspirator.
Yeah, this is looking locked up for Agoo.
I want it tempo, but I hate the idea of top decking it.
So you want your religion, but you don't want to go to church every Sunday. Is that what you're saying, Jnails?
The top card is a conspirator too, so top decking a stop card is risky.
Classic workshop over armory board.
So there's a decent chance we just play this lookout, knowing we're going to trash a good thing. At this point in the game, I think Wisps might be good, because activating your conspirators is a bigger deal than the chance of top decking it. But probably Sillypotter has to keep the pixies, because Forest Gift is the only chance to get back in here.
Yeah. But even then, they're not generating enough money. Like...
It would be so hard for me not to smash Pixie on that.
Oh, wow. Just playing Chariot Race and not... Wow.
No, I like this.
Oh, yeah. Okay, sorry. I got confused by order. I'm just... not all here. It is like almost 2 a.m. here, so... yeah, Sillypotter resigns. That seems like a reasonable resign. So Agoo is clawed all the way back after falling to a 2-0 deficit and is now tied 2-2.
Looked like a possible 3-0 deficit, and now we're 2-2. It's pretty fun.
I see a lot of points.
I also see a lot of points, but is that going to beat a Governor Rush?
Yes.
You think so?
Yeah.
Even with Modify?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Faithful Hound Silver?
Some fun fake bandit for negative points here.
Faithful Hound Silver open. Wow. Yeah, I don't see anything better. I don't think Settlers is better.
Is that how Friendly works? Let's read this.
Friendly works when you don't.
It's exciting.
It's fine.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen that before. That's cute.
You've never seen Friendly before?
I've never seen Friendly on a split pile. Tracer's pointing out that you could discard a Settlers and gain a bustling.
Oh.
I
That is interesting.
I've seen it before, Jnails. You probably just haven't noticed you could do that.
Possibly so.
Don't make me prove that, though.
So both players opening Settlers and not Faithful Hound, which was the recommended open from Jnails.
Yeah, that's very friendly.
Agoo getting the 5-2 though, and gets a Modify. So they're already ahead.
Yeah. On the 5-2, is Settlers better? Maybe.
Yes,
Probably.
I would say so.
Terminal.
Sillypotter sombrering. Oh my goodness. The drama is alive down
Yeah,
here.
Is there any downside Is there any downside to that, Settlers?
It settles on the bottom. That's the downside.
Well, no, I just mean it seems good. I mean, it seems better to me than Faithful Hound. Potentially does something nice for you.
I guess it opens up Bustling Village for your opponent. That's probably not a big downside. War Chest does look good here.
It does.
I don't even think it'd be ridiculous to open War Chest.
Well, it's hard to argue against trashing. And turning an estate into a settler seems pretty okay too.
Yeah.
I claim it's a little nuts to pass up Modify on the 5-2.
But like you're gonna gain a Modify.
Yeah, but you're so much farther
maybe
behind
not.
though. Like when you actually, if you're me, you'd first play that Modify like turn 8.
Man, Agoo not having the autoplay coppers on, clear misplay.
Wait, did we see a blunder here?
A blunder?
Who was it who just had the 6 coin hand? Maybe I'm hallucinating things.
I think you're hallucinating things. I didn't see a 6
Oh
coin.
no, it was
Agoo drew into 5 with the Settlers.
Sillypotter's. Never mind. I was confused.
Sillypotter's war chest looked like a 6 copper or something.
There was a hand where Sillypotter had 2 coppers, 2 silvers, and a settlers. And I thought we were going to see Bustling Village game, but there is still a settlers in the pile.
Okay.
I was confusing myself.
Well, we could see it here. And in fact, we will be seeing it here. From Sillypotter.
What do you
I
gain?
guess
It's
the
just
thing is,
second war
what this
chest, right?
But from Sillypotter is 4.
I don't like the city.
Agreed.
Second war chest, like literally any other 5 here except for Duchy would be better. Even collection.
City seems odd to me.
City seems better than Minion or Market.
That's not even clear because Minion can really mess up your opponent's turn. I mean, Minion doesn't play great with your overall strategy, but I wouldn't be confident saying it's worse.
What is Agoo saying here?
I'll translate. Google Translate will translate. That gives me a noisy village.
Oh, on the...
A bustling village.
Yeah, they mean Bustling Village.
Yeah. But off the Settlers, is that the question?
Yeah, I think they're just shocked that the friendly worked that way. It was interesting for them.
Yeah, I think it's clear that Agoo is saying, "Oh, that worked."
Yeah.
Like that gives a Bustling Village, huh?
Yeah, nice.
And then how did Sillypotter respond?
I noticed it 1 turn too late.
Okay.
It's always kind of humbling to see very strong players get surprised by these little rules nuances that I feel like sometimes you spend a long time around this game and you feel like you know all these little rules and that somehow is going to make you a better player, and then these top players just don't even know half of these little edge cases. You realize you've spent all this time worrying about things that that clearly aren't important.
Yeah.
Sorry, not the most important, I guess, rather.
No collection.
I really am surprised that neither player is going for Governor. I don't know. I'm still a believer in the Governor rush here over the collections. I just don't. I don't know.
I like Governor, but it's draw and it'll turn your silver into something.
Yeah.
I don't like the idea of using governor as quote unquote junking. I would rather have a silver than a gold here. And so I think you're junking yourself more than your opponent.
True. You can
modify the silver into stuff. All the stuff I want costs 5 or less.
The interesting about modifying governor here is that modify lets you mill, which is...
Well, you just take a city here now, right? You just start taking some cities, right?
I mean, I'm just still shocked that governor is at 10. It seems...
I would want at least a governor or two. I don't think you necessarily need all the governors, but governor offers some additional flexibility.
So I would take city here, play war chest, bait them into naming city, then I can get a second war chest and governor. So some combination of city, war chest, governor looks good for Agoo.
I mean, you can get basically whatever you want, unless you wanted 2 cards from the same pile.
Yeah. Pile out's kind of imminent here because once the Faithful Hounds run, the cities are going to be pretty strong.
Somebody help me. I guess I wasn't paying attention. How did Faithful Hounds run? Like what?
Probably modify trashes into... Sillypotter bought some with the collection, but I assume some coppers got killed in a Faithful Hound as well. I wasn't looking. But it did happen, yeah. Agoo did it, yeah.
This happens to people in real life. You're not paying attention. All of a sudden you have 4 dogs.
I'm going to be trying to get a cat this week, so we'll see how that goes.
I talked to Cat Stealer about that.
Cat Stealer? I'm going to need protection money to keep my cat. Yeah.
Talk to legal cat appropriator.
So we're seeing a premium on the cities here. This could be risky. Another collection, okay. Sillypotter's deck is a lot more chunky than Agoo's. Very shocking.
I am not impressed by the collection scoring here, but I could be just completely wrong. But
I'm not so sure that city should have been played. Because there's a universe where you could empty the Faithful Hounds and get a buy.
I don't think that's doing enough for you. Turn the silver into a collection, probably.
Yeah, probably.
The bottom card is War Chest, I presume?
Yes, it is a war chest.
Yeah, this other modifier is just not doing anything useful, but, you know, sometimes that happens. I'm not even sure you kill a copper here.
I think playing the coppers there is poor form, but I guess whatever.
You wouldn't play them?
I mean, I would wait to play them until after the war chest. I would definitely play the collections. At least make your opponent think. I mean, it doesn't really matter, but
make them flex their deck tracking muscles.
Yeah.
I feel like it's usually not very relevant for chest and more of a holdover of how you played with contraband. I mean, there's no reason not to hold the coppers back, I suppose, but it just matters a lot less than when they're playing contraband.
Yeah. Also, you could hold a copper back. You might farmland a copper into Faithful Hound. That seems not great to me, but you could. You could at least think about it. Do you just...
It sure does not seem hard to me to outstrip the points they're getting from collection if these were governors.
No, but then those piles would be higher because you're not contesting them. That being said, I still think the governor scoring is interesting. I don't know. I'm not convinced it's the way to go or not the way to go. It just seems really interesting to me still. Stop trying to make governor happen. It's not going to happen. I mean, it's not going to happen now, but, you know, it could happen.
Collection here. It says...
Isn't that the card they want?
This could be a really dangerous city to take. I wonder if you just take the governor here. You can gain a gold and draw it, and then modify the gold into a province.
I was thinking governor collection. The city buy looks like they want draw. And governor doesn't lower a dangerous pile.
Well, once the Faithful Hound is gone, these cities are going to be plus buy. The game's going to end just like that. So it's pretty close to over here. Oh, man. Okay.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
This is pretty much GG.
That was unfortunate. Probably.
I mean, is it unfortunate? Sillypotter has like 26 cards in his deck. He has a ton of cards. Like, his deck isn't that good. It surprisingly hasn't trashed that much. It's because Agoo opened Modify. So, I mean...
That's true. 5-2 is good.
Yeah.
Oh, and this was a double sombrero, wasn't it? Or a golden sombrero.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Sillypotter was pretty behind.
Yeah, that explains a lot. Okay, so Agoo's about to be up 3-2.
Yeah, very likely.
Turns 3 and 4 from Sillypotter were pretty sad. Settlers buy, silver buy. It's like they just repeated their first 2 turns.
This is 2 consecutive matches with a golden sombrero. Dingen also sombreroed against Siami.
Oh, who won that game?
That game?
Siami. The match, sorry.
Same person.
Siami, wow. Okay.
It was 4-1.
Wow. Yeah. That could have been me. It could have been me. Oh well.
Sillypotter has to use the bathroom. Nature calls.
Yeah, just don't play Gov to remodel. Or War Chest.
So the win's just in hand here already. Right? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I guess it's not so simple.
Well, I mean, you just get another city. Just get another city and draw it. And play. You can do this all with Sillypotter away, I think.
Yeah. Okay.
And you get extra style points for that.
Yeah, alright, yeah. Alright, Agoo up 3-2. What a turnaround. So now Sillypotter's in the hole, and a tie would actually get Agoo winning. And Sillypotter is going to be second player here, so they can't tie.
I think I'm going to also take my bathroom break.
Yeah.
I think that last one did come out as a bit of an Agoo.
Yeah, he said we were debating that before. I think we could go with Agoo. And that would be...
I'm pretty sure Agoo is wrong.
Okay, well, no, let's not do that.
We could just call him 03. Just give him a number instead.
0003. Agoo03 versus Agoo would be a pleasant one to commentate, albeit confusing.
So, Sillypotter in the interview said their favorite card remains Spice Merchant.
I saw that. I was a little surprised by that. It's such an innocuous card.
I wonder if that is that like a holdover from that, like from that Dan Brooks Mercury match, you know, where there's like crazy spice merchant thing building up buys.
I remember that game. I have no idea why Silly Potter likes Spice Merchant.
Well, why do I like Doctor? I mean, just people just like weird cards sometimes.
Yeah, that's true. On the other side, Agoo likes Hunting Lodge, specifically for its draw to X. It's
Okay.
draw to Xness.
Yeah, I like Hunting Lodge.
It's a pleasant card.
It's DZ. Don't listen to him. He's lying to you.
DZ? I'm never going to say DZ. I'm an American. We don't say
DZ
Z
is also an
that
American.
way.
He's just a Tory.
Okay.
Bit of a controversial opinion, I think, from Silly Potter. The Allies is the worst expansion. That stood out to me.
No, that's.
worse.
I don't hear that a lot. I mean, that worst expansion in some context.
I mean, that's clearly Renaissance or Alchemy, depending on how you view it.
On which end of the continuum you dislike?
Yeah.
I like Allies. I think it's one of the better ones. But he did have a good point. That Allies contains Warlord.
Yeah, well, you just ban it. You just ban the clashes. Although, like, really, I think it's overblown. I don't think Warlord's that bad.
I think it is appropriately blown.
Okay. Oh my goodness, what the heck is this board?
Oh wow!
This is just Duchy Duke already. There's nothing like. Well, no, there's Horn. You gotta go. Yeah, Horn Megaturn. Okay. I kind of glossed over Nobles, but
Hang on.
you gotta do
I
it.
guess I guess you've got Exorcists, you've got Spirits. So okay.
Yeah.
So it's Spirit Horn stuff.
I think so.
Yep.
Because like the money thing does not look very fast to me.
No, it looks dreadful.
It looks awful.
Like, Gardens isn't gonna beat it. Duchy Duke isn't gonna beat it. Province isn't gonna beat it. There's Relic
What would the
too.
money thing even be? I guess if I were to hypothesize a good money deck, on the 5/2 you open with a draw card like Magnate. And then you
Ugh, no. No, on 5-2 you open Relic, right? Like, that's gotta be the correct.
So,
Relic or Treasury? Treasury's okay too, honestly.
So this is assuming we're trying to play big money.
Okay. Well, big money's awful. You just said money, not big money.
I'm not suggesting playing money. I'm just answering the question. Someone asked what money would look like.
And Agoo's has the 5-2 as well, so we're gonna see what they do. They buy the Relic, which I actually really like.
Oh, and then yeah, and then see it. I mean, it's...
I also kind of like Treasury here.
Treasury over Market. I guess it's
Yes,
better.
it's way better. Get easier to trade. The second Relic is okay. I don't hate it, but it's a big signal they're going money.
Would you have gone Exo there?
Gotten what?
Would you have gone Exorcist there?
Exorcist?
Turn 3.
I would have had to have calculated whether or not I hit 4 on my next turn, so it's not clear. So Camel Train, I don't know about Camel Train. I'm getting big money buy signals here, which I don't know.
Silly Potter are getting some rough draws.
Yeah. Well, I guess it's silver.
Yeah, I like the camel train there.
I don't know about the second camel train.
No, that's not the second, I think.
No, they bought a second camel train. Or did Agoo buy the first camel train? I thought Silly already had one.
No, Agoo bought the camel train.
Okay. Alright. Well, then, yeah, camel train looked good there. Never mind.
Agoo's draws have been much better. I think they're in a good spot, even if I question their choice.
I still don't believe in money here. I mean, this might prove to be way wrong, but
Wait, we're exiling silver with a camel train and not gold.
If you're not both building, I wonder, like, Horn of Plenty on its own isn't going to be great at going for, like, duchies and dukes and stuff. So you might want to have some mix of, like, Horn versus just, like, market to buy the 3 cards. Like, if your opponent is off to a quick start playing big money, then...
But the Horn deck,
right.
I mean, you can just build with the Horn deck and then just buy stuff traditionally. You can build
That's
such
what I'm saying.
Big deck.
It's just like, you're not just getting horns. You're
Yeah.
probably playing with some horns and some markets and buying every 3 cards.
And you can camel train Horn of Plenty as well. Which helps a lot with getting up to speed. Oh my goodness.
Bad draw.
To be fair, they put that magnate in their deck. Nobody else made them do it.
I bought a silver. I don't love the silvers.
I think I would prefer an imp and sack the silver here. But maybe that's wrong.
I really want the Exorcist deck to win, but these draws are not going great for it so far.
No. It looks borderline over already.
There are a lot of points in that Duke Duchy, though.
Yeah, but
We'll see.
Agoo's gotten some nice trades. They have some golds. I don't know. It's going to be close.
If I had to put money on this game right now, I think I'd bet on Agoo. Sillypotter's deck doesn't... Like, if Agoo just hits a province per turn here for a bit, I don't know how fast Agoo's deck, or Sillypotter's deck works. I want it to work, but...
Yeah.
I don't know, tight timer.
The Horn's kind of doing nothing for a while, too.
Relic, they did need that relic earlier. It just hurts just a little. Maybe just enough.
Yeah, this is a really sad Horn.
Yeah, the 4 Horn. Ugh. It's funny which of these decks has the magnate in it, to be honest.
Yeah.
And here, I think you just part ways with the camel train.
Oh, for sure.
All right. This Horn finally doing something.
Relic time?
It does look like relic time. You need relic here. The attacks, you need to stop this province thing from happening.
Oh, what dies now? Horn into Ghost, maybe? The Ghost is kind of important.
I don't think I would do that if I were playing. Because Horn is like my lifeline, right? Like, that's my way out.
You could rebuy it.
Yeah, but I don't know. Just something psychological about it. But it does look better than everything else. I mean, you're not buying a 4. So.
What are we buying? More Camel Train.
So we have the Ghost line available again. But I don't think it's ever going to be pursued. It just doesn't feel like there's enough time. Ghost feels like a longer term thing, and there's already 4 provinces gone. Sillypotter's probably like panicking.
Oh, this is turn 18.
Wow, what? Okay, never mind. Holy cow. Man, Relic just murders money. It's kind of funny. Sillypotter doesn't even have Relic.
Yeah.
Oh, he does now, yeah, but he hasn't even played it yet. But Relic does murder money.
I mean, that Relic played turn 3. It's just...
That hurt.
That hurt. I mean, it nullified turn 4 completely for Sillypotter.
Yeah. Wait, so Agoo bought a duchy and now is just buying markets? Okay, I guess we've been exiling them. Alright, sure.
Okay, Nobles into Ghost, and Camel Train into Imp.
Seems reasonable. So the Sillypotters start going for like Duchy Duke, but there's already only 5 duchies left.
Garden's time. Play all the Camel Trains, exile 40 coppers.
I mean, honestly, you're just kind of choosing how you want to lose at this point.
I don't think so.
Really? Do you think there's a path?
Yeah,
Man,
I do.
I've lost faith.
I mean, if Sillypotter plays Relic every single turn here, Agoo's gonna struggle to take these last 4 provinces. I'm not saying it'll be easy.
But they don't have to take the last 4 provinces. They just have to take the rest of the duchies.
Gardens.
Yeah, I don't hate Sillypotter. I mean, I would hate to play a Sillypotter, but, you know, being a spectator, Sillypotter doesn't look too bad here. And then this is with horrible draws. Imagine if Sillypotter actually had good draws. He'd be killing it right now.
Oh, don't get me wrong. I love the idea of this deck. I wish it were working better.
This Ghost feels a bit late. I do have played games like this where you kind of underestimate how much work it takes to turn the Exorcist stuff on. And you gotta be willing to trash stuff for the Ghost earlier and add fewer silvers.
Interesting.
I don't like that Agoo is splitting their gains between like all the victory points.
I do like nibbling down on the duchies though, because it really just takes so many points off the board for Sillypotter. I mean, that's just a path that is just not there now.
So Sillypotter now has 2 ghosts.
Alright, this feels like it's gonna be a little bit slow, but we finally got our deck working.
No ghost here.
Well, maybe I spoke too soon. We have 19 cards on draw in this deck.
Yeah.
And we didn't find the Ghost.
I think you just sack the Exorcist here now.
That's a real glass half empty view of Jnails. I see those 19 cards and I think those that's a lot of Gardens points. Let's just...
I just like them to be in my hand. I guess you could kill the Exorcist just because, 8 money is a lot less appealing than 11 money. You buy another Exorcist later if you need it.
Piles do have to be watched just a little bit here. Like, Agoo doesn't have a ton of control, but they do have the 3 markets, so you really can't be too loose with the gains here. Because Duchy's market...
Or second relic.
Yeah, second relic looks alright to me. Do you start taking coppers now?
No. You don't have gardens yet.
Yeah, but you're going to. Like, maybe after the shuffle you start taking those. Hopefully this ghost doesn't... Please don't skip ghost. And it did skip the ghost, which is really brutal. I mean, it's a new day, it's a new shuffle. So...
I didn't like emptying the horns.
Yeah. It's alright. I mean, Sillypotter will pop them for points pretty soon here, I would imagine.
Alright, the concern for me is the piles.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. Big turn.
Very big turn. Is there a win in hand here for Sillypotter? It feels like there is already. You could just empty the province. Maybe not. I mean, 9 horns is a lot.
Guess that.
This is a lot.
Quite yet. It's possible, but there's a lot of counting to do before I'm going to be sure.
So 2 provinces,
I mean,
the rest of the duchies.
All dukes and duchies is what, only 33 points?
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Azumaru seems to think Sillypotter won. I'm gonna...
Alright, well, the gardens are worth like 40 points already. Sorry, 4 points already. So horns turn into 2 provinces, all gardens. Assuming gardens cost 4, you're going to have 12, the rest of the gardens, which is exactly all of the horns. It's going to be 4 times 7, 28 plus 12, which is 40? 48. This wins, right? Easily. 48,
Hope you're right.
50,
I
51,
want this to win.
Yeah.
I really
Sillypotter can just take the provinces, take the gardens, take all the duchies. That just wins. I'm assuming gardens are worth 4 points. I counted kind of loosely. It feels like there's 40 cards here by the end. So that's 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 30.
Yeah, nice point from
Yep.
Killer. Those horns disappear.
This is just over.
But you replace them with gardens, so it nets out to 4 points.
Yep. So 2 provinces and 7 gardens. So 7, 14, 21, 28. 28 plus 12. Oh, it's 30, not 40. I miscounted. Maybe this doesn't quite win. It feels close still. Like, you could take dukes too. I find it hard to believe this doesn't win.
Dukes are only 3, though.
Sillypotter believes this wins, and I will trust him. Like, it's not like he needed to go for this either. He probably has one more turn if he wants it.
Yeah. But yeah.
That's why he does it. By
Nice. Just made it.
Alright, so I did miscount, but the one was still there. So Sillypotter, we're now on to game 7.
Well played.
And
That was fantastic.
Armageddon works where the tie goes to the second player and they advance, I believe.
24 turns. 24
Yeah.
turns of spirit engine goodness.
That was a crazy game. So even with those horrible draws, Sillypotter pulled it off. Agoo kind of got poor draws at the end there, but...
The moral of the story is don't play money, kids.
Yeah.
Yep. That money deck did take forever.
So it looks like they're checking the rules here, making sure the Armageddon match is understood by both players.
Did we get a random start there? I assume.
Ooh, Agoo gets the first player. Even with the tie going to player 2, I think being first player is a big advantage. Ties are just so rare that it's not much of a counterbalance.
This board feels like the kind of board where someone gets a stables dud and they just get micked. Although it's not too bad because of Way of the Mole, but it's still pretty bad. This feels like a board where someone's going to lose off a stable stud, though, for sure.
What do you like here on this 2-5?
I mean, I like pawn. I like stables. Forum looks good to me, too. I'm leaning either forum or stables on the 5. But not clear what.
How would you break the ties? Just like win by 2?
But then matches last like 5 or 6 hours. I think this is fine. It's like if you don't win in your first 6 games, you know, it's like tough luck. So, whatever. I mean, someone's got to win.
We need the Dominion. It's the Dominion version of penalty kicks. Nobody. It's not everybody's favorite way for a game to end, but you have to end it at some point.
You get 5 consecutive theory puzzles to solve. You gotta find the win as many as you can.
We roll up a special chariot race board and just see who wins more races.
You could do the random start and have Lord Rat decide, and whoever's player 1 on the random start advances. It's like a fancy coin flip. Potion?
Potion pawn from both. Wow.
Huh. I mean, Potion's alright.
I think Potion looks pretty clear for the 4-3 opening.
Yeah.
5-2, I'm not as sure, but I think it's reasonable. The other thing I would consider would be Archive.
Yeah, I kind of like the archive on this.
So you don't like stables or
There's a lot of
forum?
nice stuff, really.
Stables as an open just does not sound good at
Stable.
all.
It just leads to awful shuffles, right? Depending on when you see it.
You're cycling to your estates at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess you can look at the negative side of things, Jnails. Maybe you have an amazing draw.
I'd rather.
You gotta be positive, Jnails. It's game 7. You get it's luck time. I don't know. Yeah, it's probably not that great. Sillypotter here with a 4. They're probably debating either like patrician pawn, bishop.
So this is a 50% chance of being really bad for Agoo. Ooh. That's not really bad. They had 5. Kind of bad. They bottom decked their potion.
I think patrician's already better than pawn.
Yeah, I was wondering about the second pawns.
Yeah. It's more of an investment, really, but...
It's not obvious to me. So, pawn is
they're both investments.
buy, other than university gaining forum, and you want plus buy with your potion hands, and you're not drawing reliably enough to find your 1 pawn. Plus, if you have the villages effect from university, then the pawn is basically a peddler. I think pawn in the short term looks better.
I just think you're just a ways away, though, from, what, hitting 7p on a turn?
Well, no, even just 4p is university and a patrician per pawn.
Yeah. Okay.
Is this a second archive from Agoo? This feels like a second archive. Yeah. Then you get another university here.
Archive is the second best virtual trashing on the board. The first best is your opponent's bishop.
I thought you were referring to like forum sifting.
Oh, sorry. I guess actual trashing.
I mean, when you say virtual, it implies that there is no trashing. So bishop.
We're playing the online client, so really all of them are virtual trashing.
That's true.
The whole thing is a simulation.
Cherokee, that was a great joke. A plus.
So we've seen some mole plays already from both players, and they both looked pretty good when they did it. Wait, not both players. I think Sillypotter just did it twice. Never mind.
I didn't expect mole to be so useful because like hitting potion in any estate would be sad, but I guess it's turning out pretty well.
Yeah. Well, when you have a hand of 2 coppers, 2 estates, and a pawn, it makes sense to mole it.
These decks are quite slow to come together.
Yeah.
I mean,
Missing, but you know.
compared to the last kingdom, we're blazing.
We have.
I would imagine stables here is okay. There's an archive on top, so I kind of want stables now.
Now we're playing mole draw to X here.
Man. Oh, crown? That feels early. I mean,
That seems bizarre to me.
I don't think it's bizarre. It just feels early. That's all.
Well, that's what I mean. It feels bizarrely early.
If you see it with either archive or university, I think you're pretty happy.
Yeah, but what if you don't?
Well, then it gets to play a pawn.
Yeah, I guess so.
I mean, I would so much rather have the stables.
You could go the whole game without gaining a crown here.
No.
You
No.
could, but I wouldn't want to. I would definitely want crowns.
Crown on bishop's pretty nice. Then you only have to play with 1 bishop. Your opponent, if they get enough stables, they're gonna not really want to trash.
Yeah, it's not the village effect so much I want here. It's the flexibility of, oh, I can double my draw card if I need it, and if not, I can double the payload card, just depending on how things shake out.
What is our payload here?
University and bishop. Potentially vault even, maybe?
Vault Way of the Mole combo.
OP.
So exciting. Alright, that was pretty nice. Okay, well. You play the pawn first, yeah.
Hey, underrated part of
I mean,
now,
this is just...
we could double our potion.
This is just incredible.
It paid off. That was a good undo.
In fact, I think you just pawn his Way of the Mole after this. I just want to cycle to my cards, right? Yeah, this is incredible.
Seems feasible, yeah.
I want a forum now. There's a lot of junk in here still. There's a archive on top. But I do want a forum just to kind of cycle through a little bit.
Stables is like a forum.
Stables.
Yeah. But forum. Forum, guys.
There's a question of, do you play with bishop here? I would say yes. I don't think it's going to be an early priority, but it seems like the best way to score. To me, a good answer would be, am I drawing my deck well enough to gain and crown a bishop? Is probably when I would want a bishop. Like if I can crown a bishop and kill 2 estates, there's no way my opponent is getting equal amount of trashing out of that.
I think I would have played the archive before the patrician, but I don't think the order matters too much.
You're welcome, Senor.
Oh!
Look at this. Look at this crown paying off. Who called that?
You actually, I think you crown stables.
Willpower 264 called the shot.
Yeah, you crown the stables as a mole and then toss here. Yep.
But they didn't even do it. Oh, well.
Sad. So sad.
I mean, Agoo just feels ahead here by quite a bit.
Interesting.
Really?
In the early game, it felt like it had gone a little bit better for Sillypotter. I wonder what changed.
Agoo had those incredible shuffles where they went through pretty much their entire deck, gaining multiple cards from Crown. That's probably what happened. They cycled really quickly.
I mean, hitting Archive turn 4 seemed hitting 5 and getting that Archive.
And then Sillypotter kind of stalled a little bit too. They've had some kind of duddy turns.
And then playing the Archive turn 6, gaining another Archive. I don't know.
This is an awkward hand because like you can't buy anything with it. But isn't that just a ton of junk down there that you can't afford to see?
I wouldn't buy any. Just stop here. You already got a bunch of... Oh, no.
No. I mean,
Oh, this is bad. It's...
No, you can get through most of it.
Okay, that's what.
Yeah, but man, what if you didn't?
There was more good stuff down there than
two
I
mole
thought.
plays potentially, right?
Yeah, but what if you draw like 2 copper and like a potion? Like... And then what if you draw like 4 stables and like a pawn, you know? Like, there's so many bad draws.
There was more good stuff down there than I thought there was.
Yeah, that was a little risky though, but it did work out.
The interesting thing with these crowns is that, I mean, there's just a ton of pile pressure now from Agoo.
University games pile real though. One of the players in the VRS, what's that garbage match? I think it's VRS bans University.
Oh, interesting. That's not one I would have guessed. I mean, just being banned in general from somebody.
Yeah, it's a very swingy card. It's a lot like Familiar, in that your potion can miss, your University can bottom deck. The deck, University doesn't really help you draw.
Yeah, I mean, it's a non-drawing village too.
Yeah.
It's bad for all the reasons people hate non-drawing villages.
Yeah. So really, anyone who says anything other than Alchemy is the worst Dominion expansion is like... it's pretty bad.
Anything against University. I mean, Alchemy is still the bottom expansion, but I don't blame University for that.
No, but... University is the scapegoat this time.
I mean, we're just trying to understand why somebody would ban it. I think it's fine. Seems like they're far worse offenders, though.
Some of these ban lists, let's take a look. I remember it being interesting.
So...
Fleet
banning University and like leaving
trade.
There's an interesting decision here for Sillypotter. I think Whoa. Okay. Huh. That was...
Ricky's in a better place now.
So...
May he rest in peace.
I mean, he still plays from time to time. He's still around.
Yeah, I see him on the ladder occasionally.
Yeah.
How far away are we here? How many universities do we have? This feels... Well, we're short money. It'd be hard to buy those pawns. Yeah. All right, we're...
Yeah, so we're seeing the turn now where Agoo's now going to start thinning a little bit. Do you kill Potion? Do you want the Potion still?
Not this turn because I have estates I want to trash more, and Potion's a treasure.
Yeah.
But next turn, potentially. Well, I'm going to actually take that back and say having the Potion offers a lot of pile pressure because you can crown it and buy 2 universities.
Yes.
So I'm not so sure I would kill the Potion.
Oh, that's true, yeah. The changes have not gone up on this client, and I'm gonna assume not the other client.
I thought at the beginning of this match they hadn't gone up because there was an outpost in game 1 that had its old text.
Yeah, we found out pretty quickly.
As tournament organizers, I'm happy that they didn't change partway through the tournament. Gotta say.
Change it for finals. Finals can just be forcing in all the new versions of the various cards.
I mean, while we're at it, we can use the finals to force everyone to play with the fake Christmas expansion that Donald made.
Hey, that 1/10 of it's real.
Yeah. But it's gotta have the fake art.
I tried to find those, by the way. I tried to put those in Donbot at some point.
Wasn't Allies a fake Christmas expansion?
No? I don't understand what you mean by fake.
I'm trying to recall the dates.
So do you buy a safety province here?
Good job, Agoo.
You could buy a safety province here and get a university.
I do not like the safety province.
Well, I also don't like randomly losing. It's game 7, you don't want to think anymore.
Look, I think you did the bishop thing. You got the points lead. I don't know. I don't see. Maybe I'm underestimating what Sillypotter can do here, but
I mean, what I'm seeing is the game is 7 cards from ending, and you're not tracking your opponent. It's game 7, you're spooked. I don't know.
The province seemed alright. I have no idea what Sillypotter's deck consists of, but I just noticed there are crowns and universities, and that's scary.
Whoa. Alright. That felt a little desperate.
Sillypotter does look
draws
really
3
behind.
pawns.
Yeah, silly.
I'm thinking Agoo wins next turn.
Yeah, that seems reasonable to me.
Well, we could have a surprise here where Agoo returns the favor of throwing. So anything can happen. Agoo could go for it and like somehow not draw it by 1 or something.
I don't remember if Sillypotter competed in 2020. He was in finals in 2021, and then he had to bow out early in 2022. I forget why, but he was one of the top seeds and quit after like the 2nd round.
Yeah, it was the 6th seed. Was 3rd seed in 2020. Lost to Udai in round of 64.
Yeah, that duchy just screams, I'm behind. I mean, what else do you buy? But it's just an affirmation that Sillypotter knows he's in dire straits here.
Indeed.
That's a little unfortunate with that archive there. But
So, is this it already?
this is very close. If not
4,
This
5.
looks like it, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you crown university once, you gain 2 crowns, 2 pawns, and you crown a potion, and then you need 6 money and 3 buys, which we're not quite at.
You'd kind of prefer the crown as a specialist, right?
Very close, but not. Yeah, specialist would be a pile.
Well, you can pawn, draw, buy here, and just kind of fish a little bit. See what you get.
Yeah, I was thinking play the pawn first.
Before doing this, yeah. Just get a little info.
But I think we're like 1 coin short or so.
All you need to find is like a stables.
Exactly. Yeah, like, in all likelihood, just drawing here wins. In fact, like, how many cards in Agoo's deck would not win in this position?
Bishop.
No, Bishop's 1 coin. You trash the province.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
I think this just literally wins no matter what he pulls, unless I'm forgetting a card that's really bad somehow. That should be the power play.
Ooh, this is it, yeah. Whoa, whoa, whoa. We're playing all of our crowns at once. Oh, that's sloppy. We're going to see another undo.
Uh-oh. Yeah, this is a mistake.
Too excited. That was a yippee, I'm going to the next round, click on everything. I've done that and lost a game before. And then I went... I've done that in a tournament before.
Well, let's consider, is there a different win here? You got 5 university plays, you can gain 2 crowns, 3 stables, and then you need... Yeah, it's not winning yet. I think they missed it.
Well, they've kind of stopped here. So I'm thinking that they're going to see it.
Playing the pawn the way they did sure made it seem like they saw it. But we might just all be hallucinating.
If Crown only worked like Specialist did, where you could play treasures during your phase. There's an errata idea, Donald. You could do that. You could have Crown play treasures during the action phase. That'd be kind of cool.
That errata was printed in Allies. It also got renamed to Specialist.
No, Crown's perfectly great. Crown's a really good card. Like, Throne Room is a card that easily could cost 5, and Crown's pretty flexible. Oh, okay, gotcha. Okay. Maybe we're not...
The difference being that drawing Specialist dead
Like,
worse than drawing... Can be worse than drawing.
Agoo's probably just triple checking here for the uni win, but then why not just undo? Huh. They must not... They probably just don't see it. Oh no. What if they're going to do exactly what I thought they're going to do, which is they're going to play all these universities, play pawn for money, and then just mull and go YOLO and miss it by 1 or something?
That'd be wild.
I'm kind of expecting that now.
Well, what else do... I mean, they have a lot of crowns. Is there another... There's 1 crown on the archive. There's, what, 5 in play. 2 in the supply. 1 in Sillypotter's hand. Yeah, that's 1 unaccounted for.
There's a
Surely
bishop down there.
is.
There's a bishop down there too.
I do find it weird, and then they'll let us do it when live streaming using the like first person plural.
Well, when you're saying that you're celebrating with the people you're having a parasocial relationship with.
Yeah.
Okay, so we they don't see the win.
Could this be a throw?
This
They're
feels
probably still well ahead. This is a good points lead.
This does not... I mean,
Ooh,
their deck
well.
is... Their deck is so far ahead of Sillypotter's. Like...
They've lowered a bunch of piles. They're going to score even more points here, though. Yeah, I think they're safe. That's just so many points.
And then you take the last Emporium here. Or do you?
I wouldn't. Don't lower a pile.
Yeah, you could just take a duchy there. Alright, Sillypotter. It's time for you to live up to your status as a top player. Find a win.
The grand mentor.
Find a way.
So, draw the deck. I hope they can do that. Can they even draw the deck? I don't know.
It's hard.
and then you can gain 2 more crowns and a bishop, and then can you bishop enough points to buy 3 pawns? I don't know.
You would need. You'd need.
No, that's so many points. I don't know.
You'd need a second bishop. You have to loop around. I don't think that's happening.
Yeah, I don't know if they have enough draw for all that.
You kind of have to just hope Agoo duds here and you get another turn. That's pretty much the only line that I can see right now. But, I mean, I would keep drawing here. There's no win here. You might as well just stables again. I guess you could vault, hoping to find a crown in your top 2. Or pawn, maybe. Just kind of maximize your chances of finding a crown here to draw as much as possible. But, yeah.
Donald X pointed out in chat the sneaky university giving you buys by gaining forum move.
Indeed. I don't think it's very relevant to the pileups here, but it's something that could come up in an alternative.
Some alternative world. Yeah, I mean, but you know, if we're looking at the sub 1%.
Because, like, if you're gaining a forum, you're gaining a card. Like, unless you're specifically needing to buy a green card with a buy, it doesn't seem relevant.
What card do you gain a Sillypotter here with University?
Nothing. You just toss them, buy province, sack the potion. Right? Like, you gotta score. You're not gaining anything off of the university, except maybe forum, but I don't even think you get around to it. But I guess you might as well.
Two bishops.
I think I would have liked to have seen a forum there, but...
Yeah, I think 3 bishops is a lot of bishops to have.
Maybe a stables. I mean, it's...
Stables is low.
Yeah, but pawn and crown are going to be the pile out. Stables is irrelevant.
Yeah.
You could take a stables safely.
But I know my opponent has a conspicuous blind spot for piles.
Those blind spots sometimes remedy themselves between turns, given long enough.
Putting vault in your...
Like 0 junk, and their archive still revealed 3 actions.
Yeah, that's pretty brutal.
Whoa. I guess we're trying to get around to the bishops. But now your next turn is horrible. Like, why did you trigger that? Like, that, now you're dead for sure. Okay, that was just pure desperation.
Well, we do have,
yeah.
an archive we can roll.
Yeah.
You're only mostly dead.
They get to do the vault mole combo. Or do they? Oh, they picked up the vault off the...
Yeah.
Never mind. Darn it. I was looking forward to that. Also, they're not getting a turn, so...
Yeah, this is pretty over. Yep, win in hand already. Yeah, win still in hand.
Hey, the stables crown discard happened.
That's why Agoo's ahead. I do think Sillypotter had the worst draws this match.
Oh, for sure.
Points.
Definitely, but Sillypotter did throw that one game. So
Really nice win from Agoo. I mean, that is tough coming back from two down, almost 3 down.
Sillypotter could have won this match if he had just not bungled the game 3, because it did get to game 7, so there's no one to blame. I mean, yeah, the draws were bad, but the chances were there. But yeah, Agoo03 will advance to the next round. I don't know if the opponent is confirmed for them, but that was a very good match overall, I would say.
Yeah, some fun boards.
All right, well, thank you everyone for watching, and I'll see you all around.